speaking to me now, the machine, Liam Williams. Liam, I guess the big news is with you, back training with Gary Lockett here in Cardiff in Wales.
Yes, mate, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, very, I'm excited and really happy to be back with Gary. We got a lot of history, and we had a very good run together for so many years. We become very good friends as well as, outside of the boxing gym and fights and whatnot. So it's mad because, like, if somebody had asked me 6 months ago, would you go back with Gary? I would have said no. But, like, that's not because I think Gary's a good, a bad guy or a bad trainer or anything else. It's just like, just didn't want to kind of go back over old ground, if that makes sense. So, yeah, it was just one of them, and I thought, like, it was a bit more of a pride thing, like, I couldn't go back and ask Gary to train me again now because I left, a couple of years ago and whatnot. So, just that kind of thing, and, since being back now, it's just all fallen back into place again.
So what was the process of coming back here with Gary? I mean, was there any issues in London with Adam, or was it just a logistics thing, or did you just feel this was the right time?
Zero, mate. There was no problems with Adam. Me and Adam, I was speaking to him yesterday, actually. It was only quite brief, really, but just about him sending the gear down and, how you doing, and small talk, really. But I class Adam as a friend, and trained with him for a short period of time. But I really like the guy, fantastic trainer. Just we're in the right time for me. I just think things are changing in my life. I've grown up a lot more, and I just want to be around, some of my comforts. So, for example, my kids, my missus, parents. We're all fairly close and we live in the same street. And it's just like, I just feel like I'm back where I belong, to be honest. I can't really explain it in too much detail, but it's just, I feel like I'm back in the right place at the right time.
Am I right in saying as well, or I'm just presuming that perhaps the Liam Williams of a few years ago, when you did move initially to north of England and then to London, that was the right move for you at the time because you were a lot younger, maybe not as disciplined outside of the gym, but now you're a lot more experienced, a lot older, a lot wiser.
Yeah, I don't regret the moves I made at all. I thought they were the right moves for me at that time. I'm not really one to, like, regret things and stuff like that either. What's done is done. What can you change? But yeah, I honestly do feel that when I left before and I went to Sheffield and then to London, I think at that time they were the right moves for me. And now this is the right time for me as well, coming back to Cardiff and with Gary. So yes, it's all good. I haven't fallen out with anybody. We're all on good terms, and I'm back in the best place for myself, I think.
And has the dynamic between yourself and Gary changed now in the time you've been away? Because when you left Gary, was it 4 years ago or 5 years ago? You were still a boxer in development. You were still around British level. Whereas in the meantime, you've become a world-class fighter. You're up there. I think you're number 10 in the WBCA when I looked this morning. Has the dynamic changed between yourself and Gary now?
No, I don't believe so. Me, even when I left Gary, me and Gary always kept a very good connection, good friendship. So as I said earlier, like, it's just like a comeback and kind of taken off where we left off last time. We've obviously both grown as people, and I've grown as a fighter, he's grown as a coach. But that spark is still there between us, and we got a very good connection, and I think we both know what we need from each other, and we both know, where we plan to be headed next.
And I know you've been back in this gym quite a few times over the last 3-4 years, 5 years, or whatever you've been training. But what's it like being back here permanently with guys like Chris Jenkins and then some of the newer fighters? I can see you talking with them, and Rhys Edwards just having a bit of banter, if you like.
It's good because, you know, although in the other gyms, yeah, I class myself as very good friends with just people. Michael Conlon, for example, I become very good friends with him. Me and him are on the same kind of wavelength. He's a bit mad as well as me. So, but yeah, like the other boys, I was good friends with Kell Brook, Billy Joe Saunders, Barry, Kid Galahad, and they're all awesome people. I can't sing their praises enough. But being home back here in Cardiff, it's like me and these boys are kind of, we're all Welsh and we're all from, you know, the same kind of backgrounds, and it's just that something extra which brings us that little bit closer, if you get me.
Does it just feel like home when you're back here in Gary's?
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to explain it. I know it's probably not the best way in terms of giving you information, but it just feels like home. I feel comfortable here again.
Just going back a bit to your last fight against Chris Eubank Jr. That was at the start of the year, 2022, for anyone who's looking back on this. What's your thoughts on that whole fight now? Plenty of time to look back on it.
It was. I just think there was a couple of things that went wrong. You know, a lot of it to do with myself and my own choices. It weren't that I wasn't dedicated or I didn't put in the effort, or, you know, there was just little things like I did lose quite a lot of weight. I misjudged the weight, and it kind of backfired on me because I never really recovered from it. And there was another reason as well, which I'm not going to say here because it just makes me look like like I'm making excuses and whatnot. But I probably shouldn't have fought, to be honest with you, because there was something going on which could have been dangerous for me, to be honest with you. So yeah, but that, you know, it's just there's reasons, but I'm not gonna, you know, bang on about it because it's my fault. I chose to fight. I chose to lose the weight in the manner I did. It's just a couple of little things, but trust me, I'm going to be back before the end of the year now, and you're going to see the improved Liam Williams.
Because in the Eubank fight, pardon me, the fight went the way I sort of expected it, really, in the middle rounds, with you just doing a little bit more with your jab, and Chris not really doing a lot, maybe circling, throwing the odd shot, but you just slightly doing more than him, and it really was the knockdowns that cost you on the cards. I know you can presume that if he hadn't scored the knockdowns, Eubank would have done a little bit more.
In terms of rounds one, I would say I would have been given the nod, but obviously it's all well and good saying that. You know, I got knocked down a couple of times, and that was partly because of the weight, I'm not recovering, and partially because of the other reason I said. And you know, the good thing is, it's not like I was getting knocked down and getting beat up, and but not knowing the reason why. I've identified my, you know, the things which went wrong, and you know, I've owned up to them, and you know, I know what it takes to make that better, and that's what we're going to do now. So it's pointless like crying over spilt milk. What's done is done, and we can't change it. All we can do is move forward and make it better for next time.
So looking to the future, you're back here in Cardiff with Gary. When do you hope to be boxing again?
I think I'll be fighting again in late November, early December. So could be like in between 6 and 8 weeks. You know, I'll be more than ready for that. I'm actually the same weight right now as what I was fight week for Eubank, and I could be fighting in like 6 to 8 weeks, as I said. So since that, I think it's given me a bit of a kick up the arse, and thought, you know what, you need to be doing that a little bit more. Not in the gym, because I've always worked my ass off anyway, but like just in between fights and just looking after myself a little bit better in general. I'm a 30-year-old now, so at this age things start to slow down, and it's going to become that little bit harder. So I just need to stay on top for a little bit better and just live a bit more of a steady life rather than eating shit, going out, all this stuff, and then crashing it off, dieting, training as hard as I can, trying a bit. It's just about living a balanced life, I guess.
And what type of opponent do you hope to be boxing when you do announce your next fight? I mean, you're obviously a world-class fighter now. You're top 10 in the WBC. Who are the names out there you could potentially be fighting?
In all honesty, it doesn't really matter to me because I'm not the type of person that wants a, I liked easy move around comeback fight over 6 rounds and all this business. I want a good name, not so much a good name in terms of the bigger picture, but somebody who's got a decent name in Britain, maybe obviously a winning record, maybe even some kind of little title on the line, just to help with the ranking and that kind of stuff, So we'll see, but I'm told that it'll be done this week, and something will be announced by the end of the week, hopefully. That's what they always say. I know. Today, and it just keeps moving back. But that's the goal. We're going to look to get it announced this week.
A name that's been linked with you in the past, Felix Cash. I had a look at the rankings this morning. Felix is, I think, ahead of you in 2 of the rankings, maybe IBF and WBA perhaps, and you ahead of him in the WBC. So that potentially would be a fight where both of you have got something to gain from the contest. Yeah,
definitely. It was talked about a little while ago, but to be honest with you, at this point, I didn't need Felix Cash. I was on my own path. I was fighting Andrade. Then I lost to Andrade. I boxed Eubank. Let's be honest, them 2 names there are a lot bigger than Felix Cash, so I didn't need him. I do think he's a good fighter. And he's actually alright, to be honest. I spent a bit of time around him. We had him down years ago, sparring and a few things. But it's good. It's a good fight. It's a good matchup. And get this one out of the way. Let me finish off my year now in a good way with a good win. And if they want to talk, then we can talk 100%.
I can see just by the way you're talking, you've still got the fire inside you. There's still a burning ambition to become a world champion, I presume.
I'm not. I've been British champion twice. Don't forget, at 2 different weights. I'm not going to be hanging around just to try and become British champion for the 3rd time. Like, don't get me wrong, British champion is a great achievement, but I believe I'm a lot higher than that. I believe, I've got more value than that. And, if a title ever come along, if a fight ever come along with that, could just be put on the line just for a 3rd time, then great. But, that's not where I'm heading. I want to get a good comeback now, and then the ambition is to become world champion.
Well, one positive you can take from the Eubank fight was that you had a massive army of fans down in Cardiff for that night. You probably could have sold a lot more tickets. I know loads of people were asking me were there any tickets available. I think it was a total sellout, so you still got huge amount of support here in Wales. Have you got any message for your fans?
No, just massive thank you to everyone who obviously continues to support me, and all that helps and drives me on, so it's fantastic. I always have armies of people come to watch me fight, spending their hard-earned money on the tickets and travel and whatever else. So it's always really appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your time this morning, Liam, and I can't wait to hear your big fight announcement, and I look forward to watching you box again.
Anytime, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Liam.
Good man.